It's like the worst sexual experience ever. There's so much good foreplay. Everything's going so great. And then, like, they pull out really quick and it's over. Like, that's it. That's this show.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of explicit, but hey, I mean, it's the best thing I can think of. You're so close. You're so close, and then it's over.
Missed the mark, yep.
You missed the mark. It's unfortunate.
Oh my god, I love it.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
Hello, and welcome to Annie Chatbox, episode 58. I will be your host today, Miss Cassie, and I've got a full house today, so I'm very excited to introduce everyone. But before I do, you will get to know a little bit more about our social links if you haven't previously. You can find us at twitter.com/theanniechatbox. You can shoot us an email at anniechatmail@gmail.com. We actually got a really interesting email recently that we're actually saving for a super special topic, so stay tuned for that probably in the next couple of episodes. Speaking of episodes, if you want to find more of them, we are available at iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and SoundCloud. And as always, if you find it in, as John likes to say, your heart of hearts, you can donate to us at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. So that being said, how's everybody doing today?
I'm pretty good. It's been a good weekend.
That lovely lady speaking is the lovely Cammie, who is actually being very energetic she came in saying she was going to be a zombie today. I was expecting a zombie cast, but you sounded pretty chipper.
If I don't sound like I'm dying, that's the goal here. That's good.
You're doing great. How are you doing, Craig? You're giggling.
I was originally, dead, because I woke up shy of 10 minutes of our designated meetup time, but I'm a little hungry, but all things considered, I'm a-okay.
What about you, John? You feeling hungry?
I was actually
feeling tired?
I was actually looking for a particular sweet that I have that's orangey flavor, that's supposed to be energy boosty sweet, but all things considered, even though I didn't get any sleep last night, despite going to bed, I'm doing pretty good.
Me too. I was expecting, like I said, a zombie cast day. We were all feeling tired. We normally record in the evening. We're recording in the morning for most of us.
Yeah.
And, oh boy. But the good news is we have a little bit of a fun game today that we're going to play for our main topic. I stole it from a lovely gentleman named Thomas Sanders. You should definitely go check out his content. I'll go ahead and leave a link to his YouTube channel in our description.
Beautiful man.
And oh, totally. He's very, very happy, as the weebs would like to say. He's very Genki.
Mm-hmm.
I love his story time episodes.
I sent my boyfriend an episode last night of what we're going to be, basing our game today off of. And he's like, this guy just seems so wholesome. And I'm like, he really does. Very wholesome guy, very smiley, very fun. So definitely check out his content. He does way more stuff than the stuff that we're going to be stealing from today, but I want to at least give a shout out to the person I stole this idea from. So basically, Thomas is a big fan of anime, but is not somebody who watches a lot of new stuff, it seems like, or at least is not caught up as much as the average anime fan might be, or he's just, I don't know how much time he spends doing other things, like playing video games. Don't know the man personally. But anyway, he doesn't know a lot of anime that a lot of maybe more current people might be familiar with. So he had a Twitter poll, or more of a Twitter hashtag submission, where people submitted fake anime and real anime. And he had to guess whether the synopsises that were submitted to him were real or fake. And I totally recommend checking out their videos. They're really fun. They're really silly. But as somebody who watches a lot of seasonal anime, and a lot of people here who watch a lot of seasonal anime, I wanted to see if we would fare a little bit better. So we're going to have a competition between Cammie and John and Craig. and we're going to see which one truly wins the How Fake Can It Get anime edition. So, that being said, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Good, Cammy. You've been very quiet. That means you get to go first. Totally not predetermined. How this is going to work, you might hear some clicking, ladies and gentlemen, though I have a list that all of our hosts contributed to of fake anime and real, and I made it so, for example, if Cammy wrote a fake anime, she wouldn't actually get it. So I gave her a few of Craig, a few of John's, and a few real, and we're going to use a random number generator to see which one she gets. I'm going to read the synopsis that has been submitted, and she's going to determine whether it's real or whether it's fake. However, I decided to add a little bit of fun to this. So if you get it right, if you get whether it's fake or real correct, I'll give you a point. However, if it's real and you guess that it's real, if you can name the anime, I'll give you like 0.5 of a point.
Ooh.
I think that'll be fun, especially because I think that for the most part, everybody got the same amount of real anime on their list. So I thought that might make things a little bit more juicy.
I dig it.
Nice.
All right, so let's go ahead and get Cammy started. Let's go ahead and generate. So, a lonesome teen finds love over the internet. But when aliens invade, his booty call turns out to be the AI of a giant robot calling him to fight. She warns him that only with the power of his virginity can he save the world. Is that real or is that fake?
I adore that. And honestly, I'm going to go in and say real.
It is fake.
Oh, damn it.
And I believe that one was written by John.
It was!
Of course it was. I was like,
God
if this is fake,
damn.
it's totally a John one. But like at the same time, that honestly sounds convincing enough to be an actual anime to me. But
Booty
good call.
It
call.
really does.
The
It
booty
really
call.
does.
Good call.
I have no
Very
poker
good.
face right now.
I mean, hey, everybody was laughing because it sounds ridiculous, but I would actually probably... That sounds like the trash anime of the season that Craig would indulge in.
Oh god, it is. His power
And
of his
because
virginity would save the world.
That and, like, I think John would watch it just because apparently it has a robot and an AI that he fell in love with. That just sounds like right up their alley.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, John, are you ready? It's your turn.
Sure.
Okay. Leaving 2 years into her college studies, a socially awkward young woman returns to her hometown in the countryside and bides her time as a waitress in a local coffee shop where past friends and acquaintances await her.
That sounds like
that real
a
or
cute,
fake?
wholesome series. I'm gonna go with real, but I
It
wouldn't...
is fake!
Oh, fake!
Haha!
That sounds a lot like Sakura Quest.
It
only
does.
with, like,
It
only
really-
way more interesting.
I'm glad to know that I can write better things than Sakura Quest.
Damn. Sick for the soccer quest and PA works.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, though, John. You said you were going to go with real, but I cut you off. I just heard real. So what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, if it is real, I haven't got a clue what it is, but it sounded like a mixture of Sakura Quest and Is the Order a Rabbit.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys
I
are
haven't actually
already...
watched either of those, so...
You guys are already tricking each other so well. I love it.
yeah.
All right, Craig, are you ready?
I'm ready for the takeoff.
Ready, ready, ready for the takeoff.
Mishinane Mikinemu.
All right, so a girl who is often mistaken as a horror movie antagonist attempts to awkwardly maintain friendships and find love.
I'm gonna say fake.
That is real.
Wow.
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 That is Kimi ni Todoke.
Yes.
Oh, well, that settles that one. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know that at all. Then again, I only saw one episode of that show.
I mean, that's fine. A lot of these, like, I purposely went through some of the real ones and picked shows that you wouldn't have watched yourself. It's more like listening to what we're reading and seeing if it sounds like something that would be real.
Yeah.
And then if you do recognize it, being able to guess it would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a real one. And I actually wrote that synopsis, so I'm happy I tricked you up.
Cool.
Yay.
I'm so mad I didn't
So
get
round
that.
one.
I would have gotten it.
I know. That's why I didn't give
That's
it
why
to you.
The moment I heard that
Oh.
gasp, it's like either this is one of Cammy's or she knows what it is.
Oh, I gotta be more sly. Okay, I'm on it.
Girl, you fine. We don't know what our reactions are doing. Craig was laughing his ass off at the first one, and that was one that John submitted. So
The concept was just hilarious. I couldn't help myself.
All right, so far, round 1, nobody has any points. This is off to a great start.
Right on.
All right. Round 2. So, Cammie, we're back to you.
Okay.
And I am going to read this one after I highlight it. So, in a world that has been... Oh, sorry, I can't read. In a world suffering complete destruction after a nuclear war, a mysterious man roams a post-apocalyptic wasteland in search of his beloved after being left for dead.
I'm gonna go with fake.
That is real. Fuck. That is Fist of the North Star.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I can't remember who submitted that one. I think it was John.
Nope, that was me.
Or Craig.
That
Craig,
was me.
Craig. It was Craig.
And shout outs to Zach for helping me pick that one. So yeah, thank you, Zach.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was bugging me. I was like, this one sounds familiar.
Yeah, we had some actual assistance with some of these. I know Craig had Zach help him with a few of his fake ones and a few of his real. And I actually had Dominic submit a few as well.
I'm not good at writing synopses.
I mean, that's fine. Most of these are like a sentence or two long to purposely throw everybody off. Yeah. And I'm actually happy that they're throwing people off. This is making things interesting.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be any fun if everybody was getting everything. All right, so, John, you ready? You're up.
All right.
A boy obsessed with yakisoba at the age of 14 meets a mysterious chef named Akira, who takes him under his wing as they try to start the greatest yakisoba cart in Tokyo. Is that real or is it fake?
It sounds like it could be real, but I'm going to say fake.
You're right! That is fake.
I get a point. I'm on the board.
That is one that Craig submitted.
Yeah, I had him grin the entire time, like, let's see if he gets it. Let's see if he can get this.
Also, for the most part, I tried to leave out names in the synopsises unless they didn't really matter. And in that case, I was like, oh, even if this was real, it would be the name of the chef in it, not, like, the name of the main character. So, that gets John on the board, and so far, he is kicking ass and taking names, noticing things that are fake. So... Now we're on to Gregory. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got for you, if my random number generator will work. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. All right. A child uses a board game as a means for survival after his family is killed in a car crash, leaving him an orphan.
You know, that sounds real, but my gut says fake?
You think it's fake?
Yeah.
It is real. That's Sangatsu no Lion.
Oh. When you say board game, I forgot shogi is considered a board game. Well,
yeah, at first I had a child uses shogi, but I thought that would be a little too obvious.
I was like... Well, when you say board game, I was like, this is catered to kids, and then I'm like, well, I don't know any kids shows that are real, and then I'm like...
I mean, that'd be a little bit depressing if it was a kid show based off of a kid whose family died in a car crash, leaving him an orphan. I mean... Sounds like what I'd want to show my 5-year-olds.
Listen, half the Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonists don't have fucking parents, and they still get by.
True. But did their families die in car crashes?
No. At least Yugi Moto's apparently died in, like, an archaeological dig, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on that.
By the way, guys, don't be too disheartened since we're already on round, I think that was round 2 or 3, and we've only got 1 point on the board. I made 10 of these per person. So we can have 10 rounds. So it's anybody's game still, with John being the only one on the board.
Nice.
Are you ready, Cammie?
Yes.
All right, let's go to your next one. A reverse harem focused around one girl, her boyfriend, and his 5 other personalities. Just which one of them does she love? Does that sound real or fake?
I'm gonna go real.
That is fake.
Okay.
That sounds so real.
You know what,
that sounds so cool.
You know what
I want that one to be
like?
real.
It sounds more like an Otome game that, like, actually exists.
It probably
I know,
does.
right? I would love to look that up and see if it does. I know John wrote that one.
Yep. Nice. That's a good one.
But that one, I was like, oh man, that sounds like something I would love to either watch or play. This sounds like a Cassie Trashy show.
Yes.
It really does. All right, on to you, Jonathan. Let's see what your random number generator gives you. All right. Oh, this is one that we got a contribution for, so this will be good. So, a family from another planet decides to use a giant robot to fight evil, and excuse me, let me start that over. A family from another planet decides to use a giant robot to fight evil alien invaders, only to be hated and scorned by the very people who they're trying to protect. Is that real?
That's
or
another
fake?
one that sounds like it could be real.
What do you
But
think?
I'm
Gotta pick. Come on. Time's ticking.
I'm gonna say real, actually. Yeah.
Okay, it is real. It's Invincible Superman Zambot 3.
Wow, that is
Never heard of that.
That is a dumb ass answer if I ever heard one.
Yeah, Dominic submitted that one. All right, cool. So now we're going to move on to Gregory. Are you ready, Gregory?
Yeah.
All right. A girl enters the ring in a showdown based around a card game about poetry.
That's real.
That is real. That is Chi Hayafudu.
Yep. As soon as you said poetry, I was like, that's the Carta one. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you watched that one with me or not. My
Yep.
brain died. But yeah, that's cool that you remember it, actually, because I think that now that I remember, like, me and you only watched, like, a couple episodes of it.
Yep. Like one or
So
two.
cool.
Yep.
That puts Craig on the board with 1, John on the board with 2, and Cammy on the not board yet.
Yep.
But we got time. Also, I just realized I've been saying what the anime is, so from now on I'm going to be quiet and let you guys have a chance to guess.
Ooh,
If you want, because I forgot I added that rule. So
Oh.
this can be the, like, halfway through the game choice thing, whatever. We'll see what goes. We'll see what happens. So, Cammy, you ready?
No, but let's do it.
Okay. A girl must attempt to save a spirit that possesses her. The spirit uses a chastity belt to get her closer to heaven through forcing the girl she is possessing into sexual situations with her totally not related by blood brother.
Yeah, she
This
does.
is real.
Do you know what it's called?
I think it's. I mean, I'm gonna mess this up. It's something like recently my sister is unusual or something like that.
That's like exactly what it is.
Yay!
So we're gonna give Cammy 1.5 points. All right, perfect. So now everybody's on the board. Woo!
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Now we're gonna move on to you, John.
Right.
All right. Bum. All right. A child abandoned by their father starts to follow in their footsteps at the age of 12, chasing his trail and making friends along the way.
That sounds familiar.
Does it or does it not?
Yes.
Yeah. You think it's real?
Is it Hunter x Hunter?
Yes, it is.
Yes!
Aw.
I was like, wait, that sounds very familiar.
Boom. It's the nicest way to put Hunter x Hunter, really. All right, Gregory, we're going to move on to you. Are you ready?
No. Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to be.
Okay.
All right. A girl is left indebted to a group of boys who enlist her help with their job to pay off her debt. She soon learns each boy has a different personality they use to serve their fellow students.
That is real. I want to go with Oron High School Host Club.
Yeah, that's correct. You guys are on a roll this round.
I was
Yay.
crying so hard. I was like,
So
don't
was
gasp.
I. I
With a big
know this
smile on my
one.
face.
It's like, please don't fuck up, Craig. Please don't fuck up, Craig.
I'm sorry. I was like, man, I didn't remember like Haruhi was indebted to him, but they had different personalities, which I was like,
Yeah.
personalities, or were they quirks that they just flaunted? But
Yeah, she broke in a very expensive vase at the start.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. She did. Okay, yeah, that was
Yep. That's why she hangs out with them to begin with, because they're like, bitch, you in debt. Time to start working.
it. Yeah.
All right, Cammy, we ready?
Yes.
All right. A boy who has always been good at solving puzzles is one day given the challenge of solving the rubidium cube, but a strange series of accidents prevent him from solving it at every turn.
I'm gonna say this is real, but I don't have any idea what it's called.
That is fake. It is fake. It is. And I want it to be real. I actually told Craig, I was like, please tell Zach to write this as a full freaking story.
Nice.
Because this is one that Zach submitted.
Yeah, he just wrote it
Nice.
like on the fly. I'm like, what do you? He's like, come up with a random ass Spanish or like techie sounding alloy name. I'm like, go to random name generator. Go.
No, that's a really good way to make someone convinced it's real, because I thought, ooh, terminology. Okay, this is probably real, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and a few
Wow.
people did that on and that I read a few of these to Dominic last night, and that's what threw him was that there were a couple of things that had very specific names. So yeah, definitely, I get that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, John, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. A girl is transported to a fantasy world where she has to gather the pieces of a broken stone she accidentally shattered herself.
Huh.
Is that real or is that fake?
I'm gonna say real.
You sure?
Yeah, but I haven't got a
Okay,
clue what it
you-
is, if it is real.
You are correct. That's Inuyasha.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Like
She
as
does.
soon as she said stone, I was like, fucking Inuyasha.
Yeah, you still got 1 point. That's fine. So far, you're actually kicking ass, John. Jesus Christ. All right, so we're going to scroll right back
I
up
want
to...
change the world. I've
Let's go
seen
to-
it.
Yep.
Not all of it, but
All right. You ready, Craig?
Yeah, hit me with your best shot.
An ancient evil tries to take over the world only for a class of misfits to rise up and take on the challenge, starring a cyborg, a vampire, a werewolf, and various other beings who were just trying to blend in.
Real.
That is fake.
Fuck. That sounds like something that could happen so easily.
yes.
John is just troll-a-lolling, like, really hard. A lot of people are falling for his lies.
Jesus.
Of course, the sweetest one would be the most deceptive.
I had fun writing mine.
I can tell. All right. Are you ready, Cammy?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. In order to deliver tofu, a boy is trained to drive down perilous mountain overpasses as fast as he possibly can and gets caught up in the world of street racing because of his skills.
Real?
That is real. Do you know what it is?
Is it Speed Racer?
No, it's
Damn it.
Initial D.
I was about to
Oh,
say, is that
nice.
initial D?
It is. Fun fact.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, I actually listened to a review of the show a while back. He got really good at the drift because his father would always put a glass of water on his dashboard, and he couldn't spill it. So that's how he got really good at fucking turns and being really good at it.
I actually love sports anime or just anime where you have to have a skill where you innately get that skill
Yep.
because of something else you do in your life. I
Yep.
think that's really cool. I love when anime does that.
It's the wax on, wax off stuff from Karate
Yes.
Kid.
Yep.
Kind of technique.
All right. All right, Johnny, you ready?
Yep.
All right. A young girl meets a mysterious stranger after seeing a shooting star the previous night. The following morning, the town is attacked by the Void Empire, and she uses the star pendant to transform into Maho Shoujo Cygnus.
Fake.
That is correct. That is very fake.
Alright,
Fuck.
okay.
Fuck!
You sounded like you were confused for a second, though, so that's pretty cool.
It was like, this sounds very real, but is that a trap? So,
It was a trap. Now, I did leave some things that are very specific and some things that are real, so you have to keep that in mind. But yeah, that was one where you didn't get caught up. I'm so proud of you. All right, perfect.
was that
All right,
Craig's
Craig.
suggestion?
Yes, that was one of Craig's fakes.
Yep! It took me a while to fucking come
Nice
up with
try.
me and Zach a while to workshop the fucking girl's name. We were going to come up with the whole team of constellations. That's the theme. Either way, I'm ready.
It does sound good, though.
Alright.
It almost got me.
Yeah.
All right, Craig. So, two young girls explore the ruins of a war-torn Tokyo in search of their parents. Along the way, they find out that they're actually ghosts encountering friends and family who miss them.
Fake.
You think it's fake?
Yeah.
You are correct. Although that one is the one that me and Dominic were like, God, we want this to be real.
Screw you,
that
Craig.
That does sound really good. I
It's
want
like-
that to be real too.
At first, when it said 2 girls explore war-torn Tokyo, I'm like, is this fucking Girls Last Tour? And then the spirits thing, I'm like, oh god, is that the end of Girls Last Tour? Please be fake.
That's amazing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. All right, so let's cycle back around.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved that one, Cammy. I wish that was real. I told Dominic, I was like, please, I've got to make her write this or something. I don't.
Honestly, assistance to get, because I was just going to leave it at parents, and then he's like, oh, and then they find out they're ghosts. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's add that.
Nice.
That's pretty freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ready, Cammy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, a high school track star meets a boy who one day whisks her away to a magical kingdom of Albion to ask for her hand in marriage before he's married off to another.
I want to say true or real.
It is fake. That is one of Craig's fake
Damn
ones.
it, I was hoping it
Although-
was Escaflowne. I was like, is
I
it
was-
So,
Escaflowne?
Yeah.
to be honest, though, I thought that one was way too close to Escaflowne. That's why I added the last sentence about being married off to
Wait a
another person.
tick.
Yeah, because that
Ah.
part's not like Escaflowne. You're right.
Is that the name
Yeah.
of the world in Escaflowne?
That is not the name. That's where I thought the trick was in yours. And I thought but I still thought that was way too much of just one word change. Because the whole point of Escaflowne is it is about a track
Yeah.
star who gets whisked away to
Yeah.
another
I
world.
didn't know that.
Um,
I just came
yeah.
up with it randomly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like,
No,
this
Zach
is
did.
a little too close to Escaflowne. And I honestly almost went in your room and was like, Craig, are you sure this is a fake
Yeah.
show?
I think, okay, so
It's okay.
I think Zach was like, okay, we need a track star. Insert fantasy name here. I'm like, Albion, cause Princess Principal. And then he came up with the rest of it. He's like, it's an isekai ass like fucking romance show. It'll be great. It's another one of those.
See,
Yeah, but no, it sounds almost exactly like Escaflowne, though,
Yeah.
so that's why I added
Yeah.
another sentence at the end.
Yeah,
and
like-
to
I was
be
like-
fair, if I'd actually watched all of Escaflowne, I wouldn't have tripped up, but I've only seen, like, the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So shame
I got
on me.
you, girl. Yeah, I think the mystical world was named Gaia. I think
Yeah,
that's what it
maybe.
was, instead of Albion, which is why I left Albion in there.
Yeah.
But I was just like, but it's fine, Cammy. You got one of the trickier ones.
Yeah, it's all
That
good.
would have tripped me up too.
All right, John.
Mhm.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. After saving the life of a child, a doctor must spend the next several years chasing that same child down as he's become a sociopathic killer.
Real.
Do you know what it is?
Is it Monster?
Y'all.
I
Oh,
love Monster.
man.
Fuck.
Monster's so good.
I knew that, and I've never even seen the fucking thing. I was like, oh, Cass has told me about
Well-
this little shit kid.
Well, I tried with the real ones to try and at least pick things that are relatively iconic.
Yeah.
Or things that were like way so out there that almost nobody would get them, and I tried to give everybody at least one of each.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, Monster's so good. If you haven't seen Monster, please watch Monster.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Craig, let's
Hi.
go on to you.
Okay.
So, 2 teenagers attempt to mature their love, but find it difficult as they mostly speak through text messages and awkward silence.
Real?
What is it?
Silent voice?
No. You know, I'm gonna see. You know, let's do something fun this round. Does anybody else know the name of
Me.
this? Okay, what is it?
It's Tsukigakure.
Yeah, girl, I'll give you 0.5
That should
points.
be
Fuck
me
that
too.
But I
show.
will-
What's
God.
What's
As soon as you said
Tsukigakure?
awkward silence, I was like, it's fucking Tsukigakure.
It is Tsukigakure.
Which one's-
But yeah, to make things...
Which one's Tsukigakure again?
Tsukigakure is the show that me and Cammy both hated, but we watched all of for the podcast, and it was...
Oh.
it had like the terrible CG and like
Mhm.
really slow story that was super boring and
Yep.
like, but a lot of people actually really like it.
Yeah.
But me and her were not big fans. But yeah, this round, if somebody guesses it's real but can't guess what it is, we'll like open it up to the room to see if they can get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That would be fun. Because we're getting close to the end of the game now.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so back around to Cammy.
Oh.
Okay. Hardcore gamer decides to steal a giant robot because he's bored. Gets away with the theft scot-free because the entire city has decided, YOLO, fuck the police, we want a party.
That's great.
Hold on. Hold the phone here.
I can re-say it if you want.
Can you please?
Okay. So a hardcore gamer decides to steal a giant robot because he's bored. Gets away with the theft scot-free because the entire city has decided, YOLO, fuck the police, we want a party.
God, that's great.
I'm gonna say
Real or
it's
fake?
I'm gonna say it's fake.
That is real.
Fucking knew it.
What, really?
It is real. That is Metal Overman King Gainer.
Yes!
Damn it, Dom. Really?
That was John.
Oh,
That was
John.
John.
That's amazing.
That was John's submission.
Yeah.
Granted, this is the one that I read to Dominic, and he's like, yeah, that's a real thing. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I want to
That's
watch
amazing.
the show. What is it? King Gainer, you said?
Metal Overman.
Metal Overman
King
King
Gainer.
Gainer.
Okay.
All right. And I didn't open that up to the room because obviously nobody but John knew it. So, also, if it's a real anime and you submitted it, you can't guess, of course.
I know.
That's fair. That is totally fair.
All right. So, because a couple people submitted real ones. All right. So, let's go on to John.
Yep.
Are you ready? All right. A closet magical girl fanboy tries to balance his life between maintaining good grades, responsibilities as the class president, and avoiding social encounters. Unfortunately, a girl in his class finds him suspicious. Real or fake?
Real?
That is fake!
Ah!
That is fake, and Cammy got you. Cammy got you. That one sounds actually really fun, though.
I
Mm.
wish
It
it was
does.
real.
I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute. Did Takagi-san... No, Takagi-san. That's not Takagi-san.
No, it's not. Let's see here. Now on to Gregory. Gregory. All right. 4 children find themselves stranded in another world full of monsters. The only way for them to survive is to become monsters themselves.
That's really dark. I want to say real.
What is it?
Monster Hunter.
No. Do you want to take a stab at it, Cammy?
I have a guess, yeah. I'm gonna say Zettai Karen children.
Nope.
Damn it.
It's Digimon Frontier.
Oh, fuck. It should have been so obvious.
Did you say you said that was real? Okay, cool. So you still get a point.
Okay.
All right. So
That was one I
moving
submitted, so
on.
I couldn't choice.
Together we fight as one.
All right, Cammy.
Okay.
After the tragic death of his childhood sweetheart, our hero finds it impossible to move on when his dead girlfriend possesses him to chase off any new girls who might show interest in him. Is his love life doomed, or can he convince her to finally pass on so he can find new love?
Oh man. I'm gonna go with fake.
You are correct.
Nuts!
That is fake. Another point on the board.
Yay!
Nice.
Not this time, John.
Aw. Foiled again.
All right, cool. And now we're going to move on to you, John.
Yep.
A middle school girl ends up becoming the manager of a clothing line store by chance, and with the help of her friends and their magical floating penguins, she has to put on ice skating performance dance shows to help compete with her store's competition. Real or fake?
Fake.
That is real.
Oh
Does
shit.
anyone want to take a stab at what it is?
I can't guess it, but I'm just gonna say, sign me the fuck up. I have to watch that now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. Could you repeat the synopses one more time?
A middle school girl ends up becoming the manager of a clothing line store by chance, and with the help of her friends and their magical floating penguins, she has to put on ice skating performance dance shows to help compete with her store's competition.
Yeah, I got nothing, but it does sound really cute.
Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live.
What the
Okay.
fuck is
Never
that?
heard of it.
That is one that Dominic submitted.
Huh.
That's something me and Suki are gonna have to start watching.
Is that,
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Is that a magic? So that's Magical Girl then?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up. But it just sounds like something fun. It sounds like something that would be like a mix of like Aikatsu and Precure or something. It sounds like something that's very Dom.
Yeah.
Very Dominic. So, Craig, after saving a small creature that looks like a stuffed toy you'd receive from a kid's meal, our heroine is granted the power to become a magical girl with a fast food restaurant worker theme.
That's fake.
It is, but wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, it'd be fucking great. I would watch the shit out of that.
That's one of the ones that Dominic was like, God, I want that to exist. That's me too.
Along with the ramen-based Kamen Rider, Ramen Rider. All of his forms. That's Zach's idea, by the way. He wants ramen, beef, chicken, pork in different forms.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys, we're going through our last rounds.
Okay.
All right, Cammy.
Mm-hmm.
Lead singer and guitarist of a rundown rock band uses his giant robot to non-violently fend off space vampires from taking over the space fleet he lives in with the power of rock.
I want to say real.
It is real. Do you know what it is?
Spesudandi.
No.
I know it.
I know
Go,
it.
John. Go.
It's Macross
Go, go,
7.
go. What's your guess, Craig?
The same thing, Macross 7.
Okay, you're both right.
As soon as I heard it, I'm like, rock and roll, baby. It sounds so cool. I didn't know we fought vampires, though. That's why I got hyped.
But Cammy still gets a point because she guessed that it was real.
Yay.
Nice.
You go, girl.
I
You
remember
go,
the Space
girl.
Vampire part.
That was,
All right.
that was Dom submitted that one, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, John.
Yep.
A boy plagued by spirits visits a mysterious fortune teller to remove the curse that has haunted him all of his life. The price, however, is his servitude at her shop.
This one is real.
What is it?
It is XXX Holic.
Good
Ah.
job.
Yep.
Good job.
Good job.
All right.
I went with.
Cool,
I tried to
so
go
John
with
got
something
a-
obscure with that one.
All right, cool. All right, Gregory,
Yeah.
are you ready for your last one?
Yeah.
After losing his wallet, a low-wage worker struggling to get by suddenly starts receiving anonymous gifts of cash, clothes, and furniture in the mail, until one day he receives a letter from the sender. A Yakuza boss who found his wallet took pity on him and bought him the gifts and is instructing him to come to a specific address. Does he really have any choice but to join the Yakuza now?
Fuck, that sounds cool. I want to say. Oh God, play the Jeopardy theme in my head right now. I want to say fake.
It is fake, but that'd be so fucking cool.
Like,
Yeah.
like after this season with Hinamatsuri with the Yakuza dad, I'm like,
I mean, a lot of these things that were fake could very easily be something I would want.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so let me total up the points here. So 5, 6, 7, 8 for Gregory, 6, 7.5 for John, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. And oh my God, this is actually really close. So Cammy, you had 5, John had 7.5, and Craig, you just edged it out with 8.
Yeah.
Nice job, Craig.
Thank you.
You won by 0.5 of a point. But yeah, that was really fun.
That
I
was
enjoyed that.
super
Yeah.
fun.
We should do that again sometime. And I might actually, next time we do something like this, maybe like several episodes away, I should have more of you guys submit real ones to stump each other too.
Yeah, for sure. Right?
Because I think that was a lot of the fun was stumping each other with the real things.
Yeah.
With the reals and not just the fakes. But
Yeah.
that was super fun. And I really thank all of you guys for submitting all of the things that you did. And Cammy, please write the one about the people being in like post-apocalyptic Tokyo and seeing their like friends and family after they were dead. I'd
Yeah.
be so happy.
Again,
Please
shout
write
out,
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Again-
Make that a real thing.
again, shout out
Make it a
to
real
Zach and Dom for
Yeah.
chipping in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I actually had one problem last night where I was like, I just need one more real thing. Just write me something. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and he was like, Across 7.
Cross 7. I haven't seen it, but it looks fucking cool. He eats that leaf.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
But yeah, that was fun. And that took us up to around 40 minutes, which is good.
Yeah.
So we will now have plenty of time to hang out with our review for the day, which is also equally as fun. So today we are going to be reviewing Net-juu no Susume, also known as Recovery of an MMO Junkie, done by Signal MD, which I had not heard crap about before MMO Junkie, but when I was looking up stuff that they had done, I realized that one of the things that they've done is something I really want to see. So they've done Out in the Beginning, Tante Team KZ Jinken Note, or Jiken Note, I'm not sure. But they've also done Hirune Hime, Shirai Watashi no Monogatari, which is the napping princess, and I so want to see that movie.
Oh, okay. I actually saw that at Boston over spring break.
Oh, was it good? Was it good? Was it good?
I wasn't a huge fan, but apparently the girl next to me really liked it. So, who knows?
I will have to give it a check. I will have to give it a look-see. I just thought it sounded really cool.
It did.
But that being said, we're going to talk today about MMO Junkie, not Napping Princess. So, for the first time since graduating high school, 30-year-old Moriko Morioka, try saying that 15 times fast, is unemployed, and she couldn't be happier. Having quit her long-standing job of over 11 years, Moriko quickly turns to online games to pass her now plentiful free time, reinventing herself as the handsome and dashing male hero Hayashi in the MMO Fruits de Mar. With the pesky societal obligations of the real world out of the way, she blissfully dives headfirst into the realm of the game, where she promptly meets the kind and adorable healer Lily. Befriending each other instantly, the two become inseparable, just as Moriko herself becomes more and more engrossed in her new life as Hayashi. Eventually, Moriko adopts the reclusive lifestyle in its entirety, venturing out from the safety of her apartment only when absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Moriko, a timid 28-year-old corporate worker named Yuta Sakurai has also logged into Fruits de Mar from the other side of town. Coincidentally bumping into each other at the convenience store one night, both write off their meeting as no more than just another awkward encounter with a stranger. However, fate has more in store for them than they think.
Dun dun dun.
Have I ever mentioned that I love that people actually go back and edit my anime lists like synopsises? Because it definitely was not this long the last time I checked.
Yeah, it's actually pretty well thought out this time around.
Yeah.
Really like it. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about this little gem of a show today. I actually passed this, goodness gracious, what was it, like early fall season? Or was it late summer? One or the other. And I was super salty because the only reason I got this show was because John stole Children of the Whales from me. And so I went into the show super salty, and I had read the synopsis and thought it sounded dumb. And I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm still salty. John's the one who stabs everyone in the back. He's just going to start stealing everybody's fucking shows. But I'm joking. But hey, how did everybody feel about the story?
So first and foremost, I'm going to say this at the front end and the back end of my impression, but like, I thought this show is fucking cute. And the way I thought of it at first was, this show does not deserve to be as good as it actually is. It got a lot of promotion from Crunchyroll at the time, and by the fact that you and Suki were watching it and praising it up, at a certain point I caught up on it. I'm like, this is good. I mean, stuff like Candy, and then I caught up with you guys, and then we watched it weekly, like for the back half of the show. So it was really enjoyable, and it's pretty quaint.
Yeah. I think what I found so impressive by the story, and it's just whatever I think I was anticipating versus what I got, I thought that it was going to essentially be, we'd get the brief introduction of Moriko, and then the entirety of the game was kind of going to play out within the MMO, is what I thought. So I was like, okay, well, it's just a kind of isekai-y show, but we have a female lead, is what I thought. And I thought, it's not going to be anything special.
Yeah.
But what I was so struck by and what I really appreciated is the show does such a good job of balancing like things that do happen within the MMO, but learning about the people basically behind the screens and how they slowly start to intersect reality and what's going on in the game. It was very cohesive, and I really, really got invested into the story, I think, because of that.
Definitely. And I think that I went into the show thinking it was going to be another typical isekai as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be another one of those trapped in an MMO kind of series. Especially because, like I said, the synopsis on my anime list at the time really heavily kind of pushed that might actually be the case. And it is very well updated now. But yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised that it didn't end up being that. And it actually very kind of nicely shows what happens when somebody gets addicted to this kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
But in a more positive light, but also negative at the same time. It really pokes at why people might seclude themselves in that way.
Yeah.
But also in a lighthearted nature that, really brings Morioka out of her shell as the show goes on as well. And I thought that was really one of the parts of the story that I liked the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, when I watched it, it shows a sense of, a calming sense of, when you're done with the day or something, you go back to the tried and true, the familiar, something in this form of escapism, but like you said, in a brighter, lighter note, you can get home and hang out with your friends because your friends will always be there to hang out with you. And online, you have an alias or an anonymity to essentially hide behind a guise, and that's with Mori, and playing as a dude or Hayashi. So
You've been kind of quiet, John. What do you think?
I got in. I didn't really start watching it until after it had finished airing, I believe. Was when I watched episode 1 with Cassie.
I think it was halfway through the series. I kind of was like,
probably
hey, watch this. And then you didn't
yeah.
finish watching it until relatively recently.
Yeah, I had been meaning to get back to watching it and finishing it long ago, but just stuff kept getting in the way. I kept on having other stuff that I needed to catch up on, and then it came time and was like, by the way, we're recording this next, and I was oh shit, I really need to watch that. Let's watch all 10 episodes in one night. I didn't quite do that, but
I think that's a good point though, because it's 10 episodes long, but it's very concise. It doesn't need any more than that.
Nope.
You could arguably say. But if we're going to talk about things about the story that I didn't like, and I guess we could all shed lights on this. I know Cammie will agree on at least one of those points. One thing that kind of bothered me about the show is it plays a lot on people meeting by coincidence. And something that, the first couple I was like, okay. But then it just seems like everybody who's on this MMO lives in literally on the same fucking street. They would have to. And I kind of turned my brain off in regards to that, mostly because I'm like, oh, this is just supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
But it did make some of the, moments a little unbelievable. And also I felt that the ending was kind of lackluster.
Without going too deep into it, I feel as though, a lot of characters were placed coincidentally, and some other characters did not get as much limelight as others did, in my opinion. And the ending doesn't commit the way I thought it would. It was cute for what it was, but it didn't go full force, which is what you'd think. And at a certain point, you're just some characters are like, dude, why are you doing this? Some character motivations are kind of questionable. Why are you doing this to yourself? So.
That's a very good point. I definitely agree with you, Cassie, about the ending. Just, was something that I found disappointing. And Craig, I think you do make a good point also that at a certain point in the show, a large amount of the side cast is pretty much just there for show. They're not given enough screen time. There was another female character in the show that I actually found pretty interesting when we got a glimpse of her. But then literally she just dropped off the planet, and I was like, what? I wanted
to know more about her too, and her crush, and
Yeah, disappointment, man.
If anything, their interactions too, the girl we're speaking about and the person that they have a crush on without being very, I don't know, specific and kind of ruining it for people. I found their interactions actually even sometimes a little bit more interesting than the main quote-unquote couple.
Yeah.
Because the main couple is your kind of like scoop of vanilla ice cream kind of sweet. Whereas you have something completely different with the dynamic of this other couple on the side, and it's glanced at maybe twice, and then you never see it again, and it's very unfortunate. I'm very sad.
You know what character that like I wanted to know more about, but again, maybe this is the constraint of the show length and cast. Before we started recording, you figured out that this was based on a webcomic, so I mean, maybe they only had so much material to work with. But the character I just looked up, it's based on her name. Her in-game character name is Lilac.
That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, that's who we meant.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, she was interesting. Wish we had more, but you know.
Yeah.
He also had the like older character that had like the long greenish hair.
Yeah.
They asked advice from like twice, and then I think that they're married to another character in the game without being specific. And I was like, I want to know more about that. I want to know about this married couple that plays an MMO together. What a nerdy freaking couple. Couple goals. Come on, show me more. It's just the runtime really messed with the few problems that we have with the story. I think basically just is attributed to the short runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like that's why I said early on, like, it's short and gets to the point, and that is good, but also it's very bad when it comes to like side characters and their motivations and their stories.
I agree.
Yeah, there's a bunch of characters that I want to know more about you, but we gotta focus on these characters because it's a short series, but oh well.
All about that Lily-san and Hayashi, baby.
Which I think that the 10-episode runtime, despite how I felt about the ending being executed, I feel like they told the story. And if it had ended a little bit differently, which would have taken 2 more seconds,
It's so true.
They only needed 2 more seconds of runtime to give me what I wanted from an ending. Like, I feel like that 10-episode runtime was fine for the main couple and the main 2 main characters in the show, but everybody else got so sidelined by that episode count. So it's just like, I both love and hate the episode count.
Yeah, I do think it was well paced for what it was. You know, the story never seemed to kind of lull or hop back into like a repetitive thing. I feel like each episode I was like, ooh, something has happened and now something else is going to happen, and I appreciated that.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Speaking of characters,
Yeah.
Ooh.
why don't we talk about some of our favorites? And some of our least favorites.
Oh.
If we had any.
I'll go first. Favorite character, Lily. It's tied with Mori or Morioka. Just pure sweet, like Mori's interactions. Like at first I was like, again, the show doesn't deserve to be as good as it is. It's about a 30-year-old NEET who literally just quits her job just to play a game. But I'm like, man, you're such a nerd and you're so cute in your interactions, like when you're playing the game and then you see Mori slamming the desk and just be like, Lily-san! It's cute. And Lily's interactions in game are just cinnamon roll because she's so nice and she's just like, hey, I'm in this guild. You want to join us? And we'll go questing together and we got nice outfits.
I think the main reason I loved Lily, because Lily ended up being my favorite character, which is really funny because the person who's playing her character, to be clear, Lily is actually one of the in-game characters that is controlled by one of the, people who is real on the outside. I loved her more than the person who was controlling her avatar, which was really interesting because the thing I liked about Lily is that she purposely did not get very close to people for very specific reasons, and the person who's playing her chose to play as a female character for reasons that were very specific as well.
Is it a spoiler to say who plays her?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a spoiler.
Okay.
But I found that her interactions with Hayashi were a little bit more genuine and a little more complicated than even some of the real life interactions with who her I guess controller is and their interactions with who their love interest is. And I think that that's really cool and important because it shows that you can be more yourself online.
Yeah,
that's very true.
And a lot of the things that she felt or Lily felt and expressed, I feel that the person controlling her had a lot of difficulty doing so. But Lily also has some problems expressing herself, but in a little different way. And I think that's really cool and important. And one of the more complicated things that the show shows, after you start to dig a little bit more and not take everything at face value. Like, if you take everything at face value, you may not even notice the things I'm talking about, but Lily's actually a pretty complicated character.
Yep.
I like her. Like
Nice.
her a lot. How about you, Cammy? Who's your favorite character?
Probably, like, honestly, just probably Moriko, and I think that is lended to the fact that we see most of the show through her eyes, but I also just felt that I just loved how expressive she was, especially in moments of being, like, socially awkward and, like, having internal monologues. I found her really relatable, and I liked her a lot. It's pretty plain and simple.
When she goes to get her hair cut.
Oh my god.
Oh, so cute.
It costs that much money. She's like, oh, no.
Like, calculating her funds and stuff, yeah, it was just, like, super cute, and yeah, I liked
That
her.
would be so many loot boxes. This is so many loot boxes.
And actually, I guess that's another thing I'll say too, being as vague as possible, but she, you could easily write her as a character that stays in, like, one position, you know, that basically is just a neat, but she feels human, and she has kind of a grounded sense of reality and, like, being a person. And so, I mean, I found her realistic. I didn't find her to be, like, a very archetypical portrayal of somebody who's a neat. So
Yeah,
I'll just put it
sure.
that way. And her progression through the story, I really appreciated.
I'm actually really torn about who to say is my favorite character. I've set my icon in the chat to Hayashi, but honestly, I'm really torn between Mariko and Lily as well. To be honest,
For those who can't see it, I just like the fact that John's icon in chat is literally Hayashi, but with Goku Super Saiyan Blue hair.
it's like a tiny clip that happened during the first episode when Mariko was creating Hayashi, and she was just messing around with, like, what hairstyles and facial expressions are available, and just clicking on random shit, and she got this one clip that was Goku hair.
That's pretty good. Generic anime hair.
But yeah, Lily, I relate to in some weird ways that are to do with how deep and complicated a character she is, that Cassie mentioned. And Moriko is, like, again, we saw it through her eyes and just her reactions and, like, how they played out as Hayashi, and then what she was actually doing like in the real world, and seeing those kind of, like, those differences, and, like, the difference between how the character is behaving and how the person actually is behaving in real life is just a fun twist.
It's cute.
Yeah. And just there's so much to love about these two characters that I am just too torn.
And that's a good that's a good representation of how much, like, the main cast is enjoyable. And that's important, especially in a show like this where the side characters stop mattering. And while that's something that kind of bothers me, I'm almost okay with it because I was satisfied with the characters we were presented to latch onto.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And I can't say that I actually disliked anybody in this show.
Not really. I mean, one character kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first, but then it quickly became
I know who you're talking
revealed
about.
that he actually had good intentions behind his actions. He's just a bit of a
Ultimate
shit
Wingman
face.
alone.
Leave Kawhi alone, man. He has the cheeseburger pillow. Okay, that pillow is fucking top tier.
He just likes teasing people, and
It's true.
like hey, I know you have a crush, so here, do something before I steal your girl. And you're gonna do
Let's not
something.
get too
right?
explicit.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Cammy?
Oh, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like, I feel like Kawhi, while the show was airing, is a very divisive character, but I always liked him and kind of wasn't bothered by what he was doing because I suspected it was for a certain reason. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I was annoyed at first, but then it quickly clicked. Oh no, I know why he's doing it now, and I actually get it. I like it. Go ahead. You do you.
If anything, the only thing that bothered me about the characters is how little they actually committed to their own feelings by the end of the show, without going into very specifics. But, like, there's a build-up in the show. I'm not going to say what it is, but there is a specific build-up between specific characters, and even their motivations show that they're working towards a specific destination, and then there's no commitment between either of those said characters. And it kind of made me a little annoyed with both of them.
Yeah.
And then that's frustrating. But I never hated a character. I got kind of annoyed sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah, because
production.
Well, just because the buildup was so good. So then it's like, no pay. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah.
It's like the worst sexual experience ever. There's so much good foreplay. Everything's going so great. And then, like, they pull out really quick and it's over. Like, that's it. That's the show.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of explicit, but hey, I mean, it's the best thing I can think of. You're so close. You're so close, and then it's over.
Missed the mark. Yep.
You missed the mark. It's unfortunate.
Oh my god, I love it.
Did you say Blue Balls, the anime?
I did.
Yeah! Good summary! I like it. MMO Junkie, aka Blue Balls, the anime.
Yep. Going into production then, I guess?
Yep.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I really liked all the colors in this show. It was so bright.
The colors
it was
were
very
bright,
and colorful.
poppy.
Yeah.
I will say, this is a new studio, so mind that, but there wasn't much, obviously, in-game action. Like, when they were playing the game, the combat was very minimal to a point where it's just like, yeah, they're flexing their budget with that, but the color designs, I like that. I like them, and I like the color palette.
Yeah, the combat was never the focus of the series, so they just didn't really try with it. And I can't blame them for that, so, to be honest, so...
I'm with you there, John. I feel like, yeah, it was definitely not much, but I think the point of the game itself is mostly just to show the characters bonding and, like, the homey relationship you get from joining a group of people, rather than the actual necessary action. So I feel like not distributing most of their budget towards, like, action in-game shots was a fine choice to make.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mind it too much. Also, like, some of the first action scenes that you get, the way that they're coordinated are just to be silly.
Yeah.
Giant hamsters.
Yeah, and the way they... and, like, it was kind of repetitive, but at the same time, it was, like, good way to save your animation budget. I approve.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see things that are obviously a move to do that, and they're just very cringy, and in this case, I was like, this is silly. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
But, like, when it came to, like, character designs and movement and fluid animation, the show wasn't, like, the most perfect thing ever, but it was also pretty serviceable. I liked it. I think for a new studio, they did a pretty dang good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially in terms of not going off model. Some of, like, Morioka's reactions off the computer screen were very simplistic looking. Like, she was almost like a blob creature, and I wasn't, like, particularly fond of that choice.
But the way that the actress portrayed it sold it. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, totally. So I think even with the moments of, like, kind of derpy animation, it was okay, because it, like, fit the tone of the show.
Yeah.
It could have been a little bit more extravagant, but again, like, new studio.
Yeah, nothing felt necessarily out of place, I guess. Like, I've seen other shows that, content-wise, when they break into, like, chibi, it's just so off-putting and, like, weird. Like, you have a super dramatic scene, and then all of a sudden they go chibi. I'm like, what's going on? But in this show, you know, everything fit tonally, I think, in terms of the animation.
Yeah.
I love the OP and ED a lot.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah.
Very much so. Never skipped them.
Nope, same.
Same.
That being said, I can't remember jack about the fucking score of the show itself.
Oh no, there was nothing that really stood out in terms of, like, the music in the actual show, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Not really. I think it's one of those series where the background, the music did what it needed to.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes it's not a bad thing that you didn't notice it, because it helped sell the emotion but didn't distract.
Yeah.
So
It was okay. It was alright. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So again, just kind of like the animation, we'd probably say, like, serviceable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing outstanding, but it's serviceable. It never, like, I don't think it ever went off model.
No. I mean, the character reactions and faces were cute. Lily's faces were cute. Same with Mori's.
Except for those moments where Mori was reacting, they kind of went off model a few times, but that was on purpose, so it's like, okay, that's fine.
Also, the dub, or the Japanese dub anyway, pretty damn good in my opinion. I didn't watch the Funimation dub of it, so...
That's a first.
Because I watched it while it was airing, and after the fact I was like, I could rewatch it, but nah.
I've seen clips of Morioka's performance in the dub as compared to in Japanese, and from what I've heard, the execution of Morioka's character is really lackluster in the dub.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
From what I saw. And I mean, it might just be like a reinterpretation, because she sounds very different, where Moriko is very, very animated and, like, spastic almost in Japanese.
Yeah.
She's played very monotone in the dub. Like, very, very monotone. So
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Just to see it. But yeah, that's unfortunate, because that's one of the best things about Morioka's character is how much of a freaking spaz she is.
Yeah.
absolutely.
She gets so into the game and about Lily-san.
And just about her own, like, I guess
Life.
her own, well, not life, but, like, her own problems. Like, I remember there was an episode where she goes into, like, a store, and she's, like, observing her own clothes and how she looks, and she's, like, rating her, like, clothes as, like, if they're, like, equipment or something.
Yeah.
And she's, like, spazzing out about it. And I know there's, like, one scene she has, like, in front of a mirror where she just, like, starts hitting the mirror, because she's like, why this?
Yeah.
Like, things like that. Like, she's very self-aware,
Yeah.
which is also kind of cool. I like that about her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of things we don't get with, like, typically, like, you know, otaku neat characters. Like, she's an adult who acts like an adult in their, you know, early 30s. Like, we're all still just trying to figure ourselves out, guys. Like,
Be like,
That's actually...
you go
Okay.
out and you're like, hey, man, I need to go to the store to get food. And it'd be like hashtag relatable, but you're like, man, I'm in my pajamas and I look like a mess. And you're like, I gotta shower and put on pants.
that's effort, and
Cammy, I cut you
are you
off.
going to say,
Yeah.
Cammy?
I was just going to say that's actually something, again, with characterization that I appreciate, is that these characters, a lot of them, especially Moriko, are adults, and they're, like, socially awkward, but they're
Yeah.
socially awkward in a way that doesn't basically turn them into, like, tactless 7-year-olds like a lot of anime can do. I watch a lot, like a current show I'm watching this season with high schoolers has like someone who just can't even communicate with people, but like the way that they portray it is they basically act like a 7-year-old, and I'm just like, this is not. I don't dig this. I don't have a lot of patience for it. But a lot of the social awkward oddities in this show, I could believe for a socially awkward 30-year-old. Kind of resembled myself. Like, yeah.
All the characters in this, when we got to see them in the real world, they felt human and relatable, and that was something that the series did really well.
Definitely.
And they definitely had a different feeling online, and I think that's also kind of relatable because
Persona.
I always come off as a much more confident person online than I do in real life. But then when it comes to playing a game anyway, but there's also the fact that I am playing a character who is this confident, brave hero that will charge headlong into battle and poke the giant thing in the ankle with a tiny sword because I'm a tiny creature. But real life, if I was to see a giant monster like that, I'd run the fucking other way.
Yeah.
If I even had the sense to fucking run in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's definitely a huge difference between what I would be like online to real life, and I think they portrayed that really well. But then you also do have the ways that the characters' personalities do overlap, and yeah, I really like that, and that was one of the really relatable things about the series. So yeah.
Cool.
Go.
Is there anything else we want to really talk about in regards to the show? I honestly, it's just everything in regards to like production, I feel was just like serviceable at best. Like the voice acting was also very good, but it's not like the best voice acting I've ever heard in my life, and it didn't have to be.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like not fucking going above. It's not plus ultra in its delivery. I mean, it's cute. So
Yeah. And I was also going to admit, at least unlike, Fate Apocrypha, that didn't have that annoying brrr noise every 5 seconds, so...
yeah, I didn't. Blowing the air horns every time.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that with any of the battle scenes, and the few that we got from MMO Junkie, I'll take that.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Better sound direction than Fate Apocrypha. Good job.
Well, wasn't that hard?
I'm joking.
I know.
Well, I'm not joking, but I'm joking. It's not really fair to compare those two shows.
Yeah,
but still. Anyway,
Mhm.
Anything else anybody wanted to talk about in regards to the show before we go on to, like, final thoughts?
I feel good to go on to ratings.
Ratings!
Ratings! You get a rating. Everybody gets a rating. I get to go last, though.
Yes, because you picked it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who gets to go first?
I can go first.
Go for
let's
it.
go in order from, like, who got the least points in the game to who got the most. So that means that Cammy, then
Nice.
John, then Craig.
Okay.
Bam.
That's
Alright.
the same order we went in the game.
Oh, damn, you're right.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, meta unlocked. All right.
You have unlocked an achievement.
So yeah. Final thoughts. I really enjoyed the show. It was a big surprise for me. I really went in with no to low expectations and really, really enjoyed what I got. This is a show that I watched every week, like just to keep up with it. Like I was that interested in it. And I'm trying to remember. I believe it might have been on my top 6 of 2017. I'll have to go fact check that, but it was definitely one that still sticks with me throughout the year. And I really liked it. I can't give it a love it because the ending was a pretty big letdown. And like Cassie said, there were some contrivances that also just made it feel a little shoehorned in. But it definitely gets a strong like it. I recommend giving it a shot. There's a lot of good to be found in it. So yeah.
Nice. Jonathan?
I
Just
really
that.
enjoyed this series. I did come to agree um with Cassie and Cammy that like there's some bits later on that were just a little bit frustrating. There were characters that I'm like, just can I have a bit more about these characters, please? No, okay. So though that definitely did knock it down a couple of pegs, but it's still a high like it from me. So it's still a really enjoyable series, and I do still definitely recommend people go check it out. Especially if you do have any connections to making friends online, whether it is in an MMO, but especially if it is making friends in an MMO, and just you will definitely find something relatable there. Unless you're a complete loner online, but oh well.
You never go in alone. Always join a clan, join a guild. Because trust me,
Yeah.
raid bosses will kill you. You can't do it alone.
Yep.
So basically, I mirror a lot of sentiments that the other hosts here have already said. This, like Amy said, this was one of the top 5 or top 6 anime of 2017, in my opinion, just because I expected Jack from the show. I thought it was going to be another run-of-the-mill isekai or Sword Art Online, where it's just, oh, and 30-year-old Neat goes into a game and fucking loses herself to it. That sounds fucking boring. But then Cass and Suki watched it and said, Craig, this actually is legit. Watch this. I'm like, okay. I watched it. I'm like, man, I was actually sold on her expressions, and the animation was pretty simplistic. The character designs were cute. I did have some grievances with some of the character motivations, without going into the specifics. One character falls on his sword a little too much, and I'm like, would you stop it? It's a little too relatable to me. Could you not? That said, this show gets a very high like it for me. It's short, sweet, to the point. It's only 10 episodes. Check it out. And it's got one OVA, which you can watch as well. The OVA is tangential to the entire experience. It's just an extra. It's not anything in sequence, or it doesn't really... I suppose in the grand scheme of things, the OVA like could or could not be watched. So, again, I like it.
Okay. I feel like this is going to be one of those shows that's very across the board and not many differences in opinion. I went into this show, again, like Cammie, not expecting a whole lot, and it ended up being a really big highlight of my year last year. Early on in the show, if I had stopped around like episode 5 or 6, I could have easily given this show a love it, just because I got so many happy feelings. I watched this with a friend of mine who actually watches or listens to the podcast, Suki, who joined us on our Utena episode, and every week it was our thing to get in a call and watch this show and scream at the freaking TV screen. And I know that Craig joined us on a couple of those occasions as well. We were just so into it. There are very few shows that I will audibly yell at the screen about. And while that was a lot of fun and it was a great experience, it definitely was a downer. I spent a lot of the last couple episodes sighing and annoyed, and that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate when you go on a great couple first dates with somebody, and then you find out that, oh no, they got this one thing. There's totally a deal breaker. There's that deal breaker right there. It's just like you're fun to hang out for on a Saturday night, but you ain't the marrying type. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of felt about MMO Junkie. It's something that I really liked. It's something I enjoyed. It's something that I actually probably could rewatch again with somebody, but not right now because I'm still salty. But I enjoy it. It's not something I'm going to fully commit to saying that I love and slip a ring on its finger. But it was enjoyable and I liked it a lot. And if you have also watched MMO Junkie and you're looking for something similar this season, there's a show called Wotaku ni Koe wa Muzakashi that's airing right now, and it gives me a lot of similar feelings.
What's the English title of that?
What the Koi? Love is hard for otaku.
Oh, okay.
I've only watched the first episode, but it gives me similar feelings, and I'm hoping it doesn't fall flat on its face, too. We'll see. But yeah, I like it.
Cool.
Woo!
Yay!
Yeah.
Now what?
So I guess that's it for today, I guess.
Okay.
Like, we have all... I mean, unless anybody else has other shows that are similar to MMO Junkie you want to throw out, but that one just kind of popped into my head because I was like, God, this reminds me so much of how I felt about MMO Junkie.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
Not
nothing
really.
as on the nose as Wotakoi, I think.
Yeah, I think
do
it's just
need-
kind of cool that, like, these new genres have been popping up in the last few years that I really am starting to enjoy. Like, working girls doing working things is a genre that's, like, kind of started popping up a lot and is becoming more popular. And I think nerds in love is becoming a pretty popular thing that's becoming way more prominent and
Yeah.
liked and accepted in the community. So
Mm.
I like both of those genres and wish them the best.
I need to check out what the guy.
It's so good.
I think the only other ones I'd recommend is that if you were really interested in what led Moriko to where she is at the start of the show, and you want to see a more in-depth like drama about NEET, and kind of the workforce like trauma and stuff, I would recommend Welcome to the NHK for one, and
Oh, yeah.
also Relife. Relife's a little more of a stretch, but both of those kind of aspects like reminded me a little bit of what's hinted at in MMO Junkie. So yeah.
Cool. That being said, we're not going to do a spoiler room today because this is not a show that really needs it.
Nah.
But if you do want more opinions, you can throw us an email if you want. Anychatmail@gmail.com. We have a very, very dedicated fan, but we want more.
I
We
was
want
gonna
all of
say,
you. Join us.
I don't know. That passion of that anonymous
But imagine
viewer.
if we had more anonymous viewers. Like, I really
Oh.
love our anonymous viewer, but I almost want to put them into, like, a death match and see which, anonymous viewer, like,
Oh man.
reigns supreme.
Oh man.
But we need another one for that to happen. So shoot us an email. Tell us things that you like. Tell us things that you don't like. How can we improve the show? We have some changes coming up in the near future with just our design. But we also, I mean, if you don't like our structure, let us know. Tell us.
yeah.
Tweet us. Write us an email.
Yeah.
Say Cammy needs to sing more.
Ooh.
Sure.
Yeah, hit us up on the Twitters and follow us on there individually if you want.
Also,
If you like...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Side note, if speaking of gaming and all of that, you all should check out Cassie's Twitch at Alchemy Mini, where we are all like live dubbing Danganronpa V3.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, that's Twitch TV/Alchemy Mini, ALCHEMINII, 2 I's at the end. I forgot how to spell my own screen name. But yeah, we're going to be doing that again this week, I think. We're going to try and get back to doing that. But also, if you enjoyed the game that we played at the beginning of this podcast and spent a good hour doing almost, let us know. We'll do it again. I've actually thought of another cool twist we might be able to do with it. So if you liked it, let us know.
And if you
definitely was
enjoy
fun.
video games as a whole, I talk about video games on a weekly basis.
Oh.
Twitter.com/SavorProgress. Otherwise, SoundCloud.com/SavorProgress. Zach is also on there as well, along with our friends Pete and Paul.
So if you like the sound of Craig's voice,
We get it twice a week. Yeah.
and who doesn't want more Craig in their life?
Aww.
It's the truth.
Aww,
It's
you
so
guys. That's so nice.
All the self-promotion at the end, I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you like watching beautiful AMVs, you can go to
Hey.
youtube.com/CammyChan19.
I like
and
it.
youtube.com/Drango, DRANGO. And again,
Oh, yeah.
Alchemy Mini, but with the capital AMV at the end of it.
Look at that.
Only one
Yeah, I
I
was
for
gonna put-
Alchemy Mini that time though for the.
I'm just going to put all of these self-promotion links in the lovely little box below, unless, YouTube decides to change its layout, and we'll also put it into the descriptions on SoundCloud. But I think at this point we're kind of babbling, so you guys want to get out of here?
Sure.
Heck yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.
All right.
It's me.
Bye-bye!
Bye bye.
Peace.